they find that getting takedowns in MMA is a little easier than it is in a jiu-jitsu or wrestling match, because in a wrestling match you have to use setups and snap downs and hand fighting to get the position, to get basically the opening to make an entry for a takedown. Whereas in MMA, you can a lot of times take someone down easily when they're trying to hit you. Have you found that to be this case? Do you think it's easier to take people down in MMA when they're trying to punch you?
Exactly.
Yeah, do you agree with that?
Yeah. I totally agree. When the guy give me the punch, and now so when I give the punch, so make the guy defend himself, and then expose the legs or the body, we can do it, the body lock, and doing the shoot for the legs, is a little bit more easily to get there. And jiu-jitsu, it's a little bit hard because you cannot punch, and you have the control, and to shoot it's a little bit different. And especially in wrestling, you have a lot of techniques, and all the focus is on takedowns, so it's kind of a little bit more easily to defend that or be a step ahead of the attack,
Absolutely, yeah. There's with your takedown game too. We were talking about your knee tap takedown that you use a lot. I've seen you use that in MMA as well with your overhand right. So you'll throw an overhand right, and then as you hit, you go tap the guy's knee with the other hand, and that's something we've seen Frankie Edgar do too. It's a very, very smart technique, man. So it's cool to see people taking their jiu-jitsu and wrestling game and making it work in a hybrid form in MMA.
Oh yeah.
Are there any takedowns or are there any takedowns that you feel are one of your or any techniques in general that you did really well in jiu-jitsu that you feel you haven't been able to use in MMA very well?
Yeah, for me, it's Evelyn is not my style. It's not I'm not a judo guy, so I like to shoot. To get the takedowns. Yeah. But for me, when you get the clinch there, it's a little bit different, to how to manage the takedown, and when you want to have the clinch, so for me it's a little bit hard to get this.
That's interesting. Yeah, I can totally understand that.
Yeah.
There's another takedown you do really well in the gi is your fireman's carry, which is something that I know. Kataguruma. Yeah, it's harder. Yeah. It's harder to do that in MMA. I've noticed that's not a takedown you see. You don't see that much.
It's really, really hard. Yeah. In MMA, you must see a shoot for a single leg, double leg, or body lock, and stuff like this, So in the cage there, in the fence, So you see more stuff like this.
Absolutely. Yeah. Davi, something else about your game that you've always been very good at, man, is your leg locks. You have very dangerous leg locks. You have great knee bars and toe holds and heel hooks. This is obviously an aspect of jiu-jitsu that has grown a lot in the last 10 years, especially. But you're someone that's been doing leg locks for a long time. How would you describe what made you pursue leg locks early on? Because I know that for a long time in jiu-jitsu, leg locks were kind of like they call you like a zapatero if you were like if you only did leg locks and stuff. So it was kind of a negative thing back in the day, but now it's a very valuable thing. What made you pursue leg locks?
So when it was white belt and a blue belt, I had a coach, and at that time it was allowed to doing leg locks for the blue belts, and my first coach, they are very good at that. So they doing a lot of leg locks and foot locks, they love that. And I learned a lot just to see. So when I took my blue belt, and then they stopped and allowed to doing the blue belts to doing the leg lock and foot lock, but I was able to doing the straight lock a lot. And then when I get the purple belt, I still cannot do it. But at the gym, my coach always allowed me to doing the leg lock and foot lock and heel hook, all this stuff. And then when I get the brown belt, so man, my level is right here against the brown belt. They never do it, and brown belts and the black belt, they don't see it that much in that time. So I submit too many guys on on leg lock and heel hooks and foot locks, And I think it's that time helped me a lot. And my first coach, they helped me a lot. So because of that time, I improved my leg locks game.